Cadillac to F1 hits a snag. Hendrick conducts its most extensive test of its garage 56-inch. Austin Cindric announced their plans for the 24 hours of Daytona, and there's a light on in Chicago. Let's talk about it. Coming up next. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right. Hendrick Motorsports is going to test its Garage 56 entry at Daytona International Speedway in late January, and it's going to do the endurance test. This is the big test here. They're going to try to run this thing for 12 hours. Let's look at this article from John Newby at The Heavy. The Garage 56 Chevrolet Camaro built by Hendrick Motorsports has undergone multiple tests in preparation for the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Now it will take another test focused on endurance factor. According to a release from Hendrick Motorsports, the specially built Chevrolet Camaro will head to Daytona International Speedway at the end of January for its latest test. The entry will take on the many turns of the Daytona road course with the goal of running for 12 hours. Now, the test driver there will most likely be Mike Rockenfeller, but the article did go on to say that some of the other test drivers have been Jimmie Johnson. This notable because Jimmie Johnson is coming back to run select NASCAR Cup Series dates. So let's see what Jimmie Johnson had to say about this new car and the experience he's getting behind the wheel. I don't know what the current car feels like, but I know this thing versus the car I have driven on road courses before is a monster. I think we had a very successful day. We had a lot of wet running, which was nice to do. We worked out some balance issues, the brake issues there, the track dried up, put some slicks on, went much faster than we expected the car would go. I think the group is really happy. There is a target speed they are hoping to have with the car and a certain level of performance. Kudos to these folks. They are well on track with where they want to be with the race car. So there you go. Even though it's not technically a next-gen race car, Jimmie Johnson has driven the next-gen race car to some extent. Of course, he was making those comments after the VIR test or wherever he tested the race car at. So it will be interesting going forward. Jimmie Johnson will have a little more experience with this next-gen car than we had expected, so that will be interesting to keep an eye on. Sticking with the Daytona International Speedway, Austin Cindric announced their plans to officially run the 24 Hours of Daytona. Austin Cindric had already hinted at he was going to run the 24 Hours of Daytona, but now he has made his plans official. He is going to run with Rick Ware Racing in the 24 Hours of Daytona, and it will be in this car. All right, moving on to Chicagoland Speedway will open back up and have a Super Motocross event. It is the Super Motocross Playoffs. So Chicagoland Speedway is still open, and this has turned a lot of people's heads because whenever the experiment on the Chicago road course, when they either A, give up on it, or B, move it to another city, that means Chicagoland is back in play. So it looks like Chicagoland, after 2 or 3 years, is going to be the Chicago race again, is what a lot of people are inferring from this. Nothing is official, but it does seem like NASCAR wants to be in that Chicago market, and Chicagoland opening back up for the Super Motocross means the Chicagoland Stadium, the Chicagoland racetrack is still available and still open and operational. And finally, Cadillac to F1 has hit a snag. The majority of the owners, they're saying a strong majority. How many of these teams actually are against this, we don't know. But a majority of the owners in F1, the majority of the teams at least, have come out against this move. They said it is badge slapping at the best, which doesn't make any sense because Aston Martin's doing the exact same thing. But anyway, led by Mercedes is what the rumor is. This group of people, this group of teams does not want Cadillac in. There are proponents for it that want Cadillac in F1, so the Cadillac bid is being challenged. F1 drama. There's always so much politics in F1, so not surprising that Mercedes is leading them not wanting to be in there, and also not surprising that Red Bull and McLaren are leading the charge for Cadillac to get in there. So I will leave it at that. We'll keep an eye on that situation going forward, but I fully expect the bid to be accepted because even the leader of the FIA, which is the regulating body for F1, has pretty much come out and said, shut up, we're gonna put them in there. So it is what it is. It's just a formality, but the teams are raising a stink. All right, that's all I got for you on this one. If you made it this far, feel free to subscribe. It helps out the channel a whole lot, and I really, really do appreciate it. If you're already subscribed, you know I appreciate you guys as well. If you got a comment or question, leave it down in the comment section. I try to get to as many of these as I can. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.